Hi everyone. So I welcome everyone in today's class wherein we are going to see chapter 10th of our economic survey. So yes, we are done with chapter 9 chapters, and from today we'll see that in today's class basically we'll see that what is all about chapter 10th, and of course then we are left with 3 sessions only, then our economic survey will be done. Now we are done with the 9 chapters, and I hope each and every sector is just crystal clear to all of you. In these 9 chapters, contributes a lot to our preparation also, because these include recent developments, or you can say what are the schemes that have been developed by the government of India specifically to push our various sectors. Now even if I talk about agriculture, so we read a lot of schemes, we read a lot of data that where is our agriculture sector heading towards, what are the initiatives that has been taken by the government of India to give boost to it. So this is how you should approach it, and in today's session we'll see about climate and resilience. So basically in today's chapter we'll see the environment as well as your climate chapter and the adaptation matters. So of course we'll see a lot many things that are associated here, that are associated with it. And before I jump onto this chapter, of course, just like my every video, the topics which are necessary to tell you, as in to decode you, which the schemes or you can say the terminologies that will be there in this particular chapter, I'll decode you that also. And then we'll see a lot of data that is associated with this chapter. So I'll read the data, and I'll get out of the screen, I'll read the data, and the rest of the things that are there, the concepts that are very much important to decode, to be decoded to you, I'll decode them to you, and I'll try my best to deliver those schemes, those terminologies in a very easy and understandable manner. So now jumping towards the climate and environment chapter, before that you can see that it says that we are according to the climate, we are at a economic growth and sustainability, so we are focusing on to it. Though India wants to become Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047, that is an aim of our India, basically the government of India, our people of India, to become self-reliant by the year of by the year of 2047. But the government says we want to become Atmanirbhar, but we also has to ensure this thing that sustainable development goes along with that. So growth is important, but taking care of the judicious use of the resources is also very much important from this from the growth perspective. So this is what has been mentioned by the government of India. Now this particular survey says that we have carbon emissions and low carbon growth as well, which survey says that despite being low per capita carbon emission, India is committed to low carbon emissions growth. And here you can see that many steps has been taken by the government of India, in which we are saying that we have to ensure this thing, that we are doing less carbon emission and rather start jumping onto the adoption of renewable energy. That is what is the particular aim of the government of India also. Now what are the challenges when we talk about jumping onto the renewable energy? So that includes your lack of storage technology, that is one, and second, it includes a limited access to the essential minerals. So these are the challenges in renewable energy deployment. This is what has been said by the your survey, this particular survey. Now it includes climate change vulnerability as well as your adaptation strategy. So what are the you can say hurdles that are coming in between when we talk about the adaptation strategy? Now I just told you that less carbon emission, more of the adoption of renewable energy. Now I can talk of anything. जैसे अगर मैं बात करूँ कि solar energy का proper usage करना, we have Surya Ghar mission. So that is one of the schemes that has been taken by the government of India, in which government says that start installing more and more solar panels. So that is a particular aim, and we'll provide you subsidy on it. So this is what is the aim. So here you can see that government is highly focusing on exiting your carbon emission and to the admission of to admitting in your renewable energy. Now you can see that what are the challenges here. So India is highly vulnerable to climate change, making adaptation strategies that is very crucial. And next it says that adaptation expenditure increased right from 3.7% of GDP in financial year of 16 to 5.6% of GDP in 2022, which reflects that it is important for the growth perspective also. Now we have one of the initiatives here, which is life initiative, in which it is said that you start focusing whatever your activities of life are. You do those activities but taking care of the environment, but do those activities in a sustainable manner, or you can say taking care of the environment. That is what is is an you can say is an aim of this particular initiative. So life refers to lifestyle for environment. Do whatever you want to do. Make production, like make production, as in I'm specifically talking about the production of goods and services that takes place. Get involved in the manufacturing sector. Whatever you have, your day-to-day activities, do them, but take care of your environment also. That is what is known as life initiative. Now it promotes your sustainable practices and your circular economy also. Now circular economy refers to reduce, reuse as well as recycle. So here when I talk about circular economy, it includes your 3 R's. It includes your 3 R's, which is reuse, reduce as well as recycle. This is your circular economy, and you have to remember that circular economy leads to less and less wastage of the products, or you can say of the material that we have in nature, and it focuses on recycling, it focuses on reducing, it focuses on reusing also. Now it is expected to play a transformative role in the India's development process. So it is a very crucial step that has been taken by the government of India to enhance your sustainable practices. Now if we initiate in every step, okay, if we initiate in any of the steps that has been taken by the government of India, credit plays a very important role. We need funding for development, we need funding. Now here we have a new challenge. So you can see that here a lot of challenges are there. If I specifically talk about international climate finance challenges, so the survey says that the flow of international finance remains grossly inadequate. But here is a shift. You can see that after COP29 meeting, the outcomes are there, which will provide a hope, which is still providing a hope for the increase in the global funding. So this is one of the challenges that India is facing, and we have some hopes after the COP29 has been done. We have some hopes that tomorrow we can see that international funding, there would be a rise in the international funding. Now we'll see the India's development as well as low carbon growth. So where is India lying? So now specifically talking about India, so iska aim kya hai? To become a developed nation by 2047. This is what I have told you. Now we have a vision of inclusive as well as your sustainable development also. Inclusive as in that here we want to develop, here we want to grow, but taking care of each and every sector. We want to take care of environment, we want to take care of industry, we want to take care of our primary sector, we want to take care of our services sector also. Inclusive, taking each and every person along with us. Now it is also the focus of on the sustainable development also. Now the survey says that the per capita carbon emission are one third of the global average, despite India's rapid economic growth. Now the country seeks low carbon development while ensuring that we are focusing on the manufacturing also, we are focusing on the affordable energy security also, job creation should also be there, economic growth should also be there, and environmental sustainability should also be there. But you have to you have to grow these things, taking care of the thing that you are doing low carbon, you are just producing low carbon in the environment. These things are important to achieve, but there should be low carbon emission. Now what are the challenges that are there? If I want to expand my renewable energy, there are a lot of challenges. So two challenges among them is lack of viable storage technology that is there, and limited access to essential minerals, that is also a part of it. Now we'll see the climate adaptation strategy. Okay, so you can see here that India, specifically talking about India, we are highly vulnerable to climate changes due to its geographical as well as agro-climatic conditions that are there. We see that a lot of droughts are there, floods continuously comes. So we have a lot of challenges if I talk about your geography geographical, from a geographical perspective. But specifically talking about the India's initial adoption communication to UNFCCC, so it says that adoption expenditure in 2022 was 5.6% of GDP, up from 3.7% of GDP in the financial year 2016. So this is what we have just discussed. Now we have climate finance reliance also. So predominantly we have heavy reliance on the domestic sources only. If I talk about the international help, so we are somewhere or another lacking here. But after the COP29 meeting, we are expecting that the funding through the international affair should also be increased. Now we have LIFE initiative, which we've already discussed. Now government is highly focused on this thing, that through LIFE initiative we can expect this thing, that tomorrow we can develop, or you can say we can achieve better in the sustainable development aim. Now we have challenges in the climate finance, and what were the outcomes of COP29 COP29 meeting also. So when I talk about COP29 meeting, it plays a huge important role in knowing that where is our environment going, and what has been adopted by various of the ministers or various of the governments or various of the economies of the countries, where they are seeing that how we can make judicious use of resources. That is the reason COP29 or any meeting related to COP takes huge importance here. Now you can see that we have talked about a lot of many things, which includes your developed nations have failed to meet their internationally determined contribution, that is your 38%, and we are lacking in the commitment to provide adequate financial support for the climate action, that is another one. Similarly, if I talk about new collective qualified goal on finance, so it includes your developed nations has proposed a small target of USD 300 billion annually by 2035. This is what has been discussed. Similarly, if any shorts fall, if any falls short in the fund of the USD 5.1 से लेके 6.8 trillion dollars तक, that is required by 2030. Similarly, it contradicts the Paris Agreement's equity principle by shifting the burden onto the developing countries. So this is what has been discussed, and these are what the outcomes of the your COP29. Now we'll see that what are the implications for COP 2030 meeting that is going to take place this year only, and we'll talk about the climate action also. So it will be a COP for the climate action where countries must submit the updated NDCs, where we see that it has they have failed to contribute by 38%. So this is what they have to mention here. Again, the reason, now funding shortfalls could lead to a reworking of climate targets. So this is what we are expecting. If again there is a shortfall in the funds, then they need to make some improvements here. Now if I specifically talk about the dependence on domestic resources may impact what? Your developmental challenges, because a lot of dependency is from domestic resources only when I come on to finance. We have just discussed that international financing is somewhere or another lacking behind, where it is highly needed that if we want to develop our country, or if we want to move towards a sustainable development, we need funds from international markets also. But if we highly focuses, or if we solely put a focus on domestic markets only, so we can lack here. So now it includes developmental challenges, progress towards the sustainable development goals, that is your SDGs, and similarly integrity of national climate cooperation can also be hampered. Now we see that what are the bringing adaptation to the forefront. So it includes your India's climate vulnerability. So it says that India ranks 7th among the most climate vulnerable countries, and here it is also said that if I talk about the global perspective, our environment is hampered. This is not specifically the case with India only, it is a global perspective. So in this in the recent meeting, it was discussed that developing nations are highly contributing towards what? Towards the bad condition of our environment. So this is what has been discussed, कि जो developing countries हैं, they are continuously focused towards the development of their nation, and that is the reason that we are focusing and we are watching this thing, that our environment at the global perspective is getting hampered. Now this is not the situation, this is not the case of developed nations, rather it is all the mistake of the developing nation. This is what has been discussed. Now it includes your multifaceted climate related threats also, which includes your extreme weather events, slow onset events, which includes your sea level rise, biodiversity loss, as well as your water insecurity also. Now we'll see about the disproportionate climate burden. So it includes greenhouse gas emission, they are globally bad, and their impact is borne disproportionately by the vulnerable developing nations like India. This is what has been said or specifically mentioned in this particular survey. 1 minute. So now next thing that comes here is the historical emission. So they say that it persists, creating a huge economic cost for the resource constrained countries, and there is an urgent need of the climate adaptability to protect your lives, livelihoods, as well as for the economy also. Now we have National Adaptation Plan. So you can see here that it defines India's adaptation priorities. It aligns with the sustainable development goals, and it ensures that we are towards the climate resilience among the all regions as well as sectors also. Now it complements India's initial, or you can say India's initial adaptation communication to UNFCCC, which outlines that adaptation priorities should be prioritized. Similarly, strategies, policies and programs will also be implemented, and similarly implementation support. There is a need for the implementation support for the adaptation action. This is what has been mentioned in this particular survey. Now we will talk about the approach. So we have multifaceted strategy here, which requires, or you can say which includes your policy initiatives just to mainstream the climate adaptation. Sector specific strategies are also included. Now here we have highly you can say focus on the climate resilient infrastructure. Research and development plays a huge important role, and similarly we see that we need resources, as in financial resources also, if we want to develop. This is what has been discussed here. Now there are few of the risks that are associated with the agricultural sector also. So it includes your heat and water stress that adversely impact your crop yield, and it poses a significant challenge to India's food security also, because if your crop yields will be impacted, of course your food security will also be directly impacted. Now what are the key adoptions here, key adaptation strategies here? That one, we need to focus on research and development. We need to highly focus on the adaptation of the various policies, of the various schemes that has been given by the government of India. Similarly, we need to conserve our groundwater, soil health improvement ki bhi there is a need, and similarly modification of the cropping patterns also. This is what has been discussed here. Now we'll see about the urban areas, how we can make them like what are the urban challenges due to what? Due to the climate change as well as your urbanization also, because we see that many challenges are there. If I talk about the urban areas, you see that there is a high congestion there. Congestion as in traffic is increasing over the period of time. That is also somewhere or another contributing. I won't say somewhere or another that is directly contributing to the bad condition of our environment. Now we'll go through it. So rapid urbanization has impacted your comprehensive adaptation, and the key challenges here are: one, heat stress. Now summers are coming, we know that how Delhi is going to be, specifically your northern areas, and not about northern areas only, your south is also getting impacted out of it. Now we have urban flooding as well as depleting groundwater also. These are the many challenges. Now this is one. Now if I talk about National Mission on Sustainable Habitat that was taken in the year of 2010, this is one of the missions, 9 missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Changes. Objectives क्या है? That we need to promote low carbon urban development, low carbon emission basically, कि जो हमारा emission है, जो low carbon emission है, we have to ensure that. Now for that, government has taken a lot many solutions also, like adoption of EVs, making your metros. So this is what has been taken, the initiatives that has been taken by the government of India. Now key thematic areas includes your waste management, proper utilization of resources like water. Now government has also said this thing that Surya Ghar jo mission hai, that is one of those schemes where the government is saying कि जो adoption है start, जो हमारा जो हमारा solar panels है उनका adoption करना शुरू करो, so that we can shift ourselves to the renewable energy. Water management is another objective here, or you can say thematic area. Energy and green building, mobility and air quality, urban planning, green cover as well as biodiversity is also one of the plans under it. Now we'll see that since 2015, urban investment programs have integrated with the sustainable development. Now it includes your Ministry of Housing as well as your Urban Affairs, which developed a climate assessment framework for cities, which includes that parameters have been set in which the climate, you can say the relevant, climate relevance is just checked out. Similarly, you have it aligns with the global standards for green, sustainable as well as disaster relevant, your resilient cities also. Now we'll see Amrut mission. Okay. Amrut mission, which includes your Atal mission for rejuvenation as well as your urban transformation. This is what has been discussed here. Now we'll focus on the adoption of urban 2.0. So recently, it has been taken. Now we'll see that what extra, things that we have covered here. So water conservation, augmentation, rejuvenation is the one. It reuse water and grey water management also. So basically we are here talking about the circular economy. Similarly, you can see that we have nature-based solutions also for the sustainable water treatment. And what are the key progress? So you can see here that we are continuously progressing towards it. Next, we have smart city mission. Smart city mission as in that making your cities more smarter in a manner. Now they focuses on what? Your livability, similarly your economic sustainability and environmental sustainability as well. Now we have urban river management plan also. Now urban river management plan says what? That we need to manage the resources, that is our rivers. Okay, that is our rivers. So you can see here that it aims to revive and maintain your urban rivers. Now specifically talking about River Cities Alliance. So this was launched in the year of 2021, a collaboration between Ministry of Jal Shakti as well as your Housing and Urban Affairs. So this is what has been discussed here. Now adaptation in the coastal region. So this is also very important. So you can see here that India's coastal jo vulnerability hai, we'll discuss that. 7,600 of kilometer long coastal line and multiple islands make adaptation in the coastal region, that is very crucial. Now what it includes? It includes a heavy rainfall, severe storms, cyclones as well as your high tide flooding also. Now we have ecosystem based solutions. So what can be done to improve it? So one is mangrove planting as well as conservation of that. Second is artificial reef construction, so that extra of the pollution can be absorbed here. Similarly, you have dune planting as well as sand bypassing also. Now infrastructure based solutions kya ho sakte hain? So we are focusing on this thing to put a sea walls as well as your embankments also, just to protect it, and beach nourishment projects also, just to increase the quality of your beach. Now mangrove conservation efforts includes that it was implemented under the conservation and management of mangroves as well as your coral reef scheme, that is a part of your national coastal mission program. Now what are the regulatory frameworks of the coastal protection here? So you have Coastal Regulation Zone, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, India's Forest Act 1972, Biological Diversity Act 2002 and other relevant rules as well as amendments also. Now we have to go through the national initiatives that has been taken. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan को कब launch करा गया था? 2019 में इसको launch करा गया था, and it specifically focuses on addressing your acute water stress in India. Similarly, we have initiatives under it which includes your Catch the Rain, which was in the year of 2024. Now Catch the Rain means what? That here we are focusing on water management. Proper water management means judicious use of the resources that we have. Theme is Nari Shakti Se Jal Shakti, which means women's role in the water conservation, which focuses on rainwater harvesting, management of the resources, water body mapping, intensive afforestation as well as awareness generation also. Now we see that we have national aquifer mapping project. So it has completed across 25 lakh square kilometer, aiding the groundwater conservation. Bhu Neer is another portal. Bhu means your soil, Neer somewhere or another is referred to as water. So Bhu Neer is specifically, we are specifically focusing here that we need to enhance the transparency as well as efficiency as well as sustainability also here. Now Flood Watch India app, which has a version 2.0. So Flood Watch India app says what? Flood, जो भी कहीं भी अगर flood वगैरह आने की situation होगी, to watch that, to you can say to have an analysis of that before it comes, so that we can also protect ourselves. So that app ensures that it is it is launched by the Central Water Commission to provide a real-time flood forecast from 592 flood monitoring stations. This is what is the main focus of this particular app. Now we have state level initiatives. गुजरात की अगर मैं बात करूँ, so you have जल संचय जन भागीदारी is there. Similarly, is ये क्या किसके ऊपर focus करता है? So it focuses on the rain water harvesting. So you can see here that rain water harvesting के ऊपर focuses करा जा रहा है, and we are also focusing on the water management as well as sustainability also. Next we have Uttar Pradesh, which includes a smart laboratory on clean rivers in Varanasi. So इसका aim क्या है कि जो हमारा वरुणा, we have to rejuvenate the Varuna river using the sustainable practices. Next we have Meghalaya mein, so we have Mora multi-purpose reservoir project. So here the goal is one, water conservation, water management, groundwater, rejuvenation of the groundwater, spring rejuvenation as well as catchment restoration and mine, rehabilitation that is there. Similarly, if I talk about Chhattisgarh, so you can see Jal Jagar mission is there, which is your Dhamtari district. ठीक है, अब इसका मेन फोकस क्या है? अगेन रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, डूइंग प्रॉपर यूज ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज दैट यू हैव. नाउ वी हैव we'll see about the key insights from the developed countries' energy transition. So if I talk about the historical energy shift, so you can see that 18th century में क्या था? The transition was there right from wood to coal. Similarly, 1946 onwards, we started focusing on oil and gas from coal. And now if I talk about 1970s, particularly taking into consideration the country of finance, so the transition was to the nuclear energy due to oil embargo in 1973 that was there. Okay. Now we'll see what are the current global energy trends. So you can see that commercial interests still dominate the energy transition, not climate concerns. This is one of the problems that we have. Now we'll see the challenges in the developed nations' renewable energy adoption. Now they have specifically said that developing nations are the one who are contributing to the bad conditions of bad conditions of the environment. But now we'll see that what are the challenges that are coming ahead, to your developed nations. So you can see that one is congestion cost. Congestion cost includes what? That there is a lot of traffic, right? There is a lot of traffic, and that is specifically hampering the economic cost that we have. That is your congestion cost. Similarly, high electricity cost that is there, and grid instability that is also a part of it. So now talking about the India's per capita energy consumption, so you can see it is just 16.7 GJ, and if you see the what is required here, so we have to also focus on the sustainable development goal 7, which ensures the affordability, reliable, sustainable modern energy, which is there. Now we'll see the challenges that is hindering renewable energy growth. So one is investment needs. So I've told you that they are specifically focusing on the domestic resources only, but we need to focus on the international help also. Similarly, critical mineral assets, that is another, land constraints is another, and competing demands like agriculture, industry, infrastructure also needs your energy also. Now talking about the situation of developed nations phased out coal due to natural gas availability. Now what is the India situation? So we hold 10% of the world's global reserves, I mean your coal reserves. Similarly, you have only 0.7% of the natural gold, your global natural gas reservoir. Leads to less scope of the gas transition. And advancement की अगर मैं बात करूँ clean energy technology में, so you can see that supercritical and ultra supercritical plants we have, advanced ultra supercritical plants we also have. Now we have nuclear energy, reliable but challenging option. So what are the pros here? It is high in efficiency, and it includes low greenhouse gas emission. So these are the you can see pros here. But what are the cons? So one is your public safety concerns, that is a part of it. We need high technology, that is also an obstruction here. Dependency on the fossil fuels for uranium extraction leads to sulfuric acid, or you can say that shortage may limit the uranium supply also. So what are the situation with the renewable energy waste management? So you can see solar panel disposable challenges we have, which includes the California's case where no end of life plan for the rooftop solar panels lead to growing waste and contamination issues. Next we have complex recycling process, so it includes the skilled labor as well as your specialized equipment. Now India India has made a significant, progress in its energy transition with a strong push towards a non-fossil fuel-based energy, generation. Now, it includes the capacity building as well as, if I talk about the installed capacity, you can see the case here. Energy generation from the fossil fuels, that is specifically from the 2022-23 provisional data. So you can see the, you can just read the data by yourself. Now we'll come on to the key initiatives that has been taken here. So one is your PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, in which it is said that you start installation of solar panels in your home, and we'll provide you subsidies on, I think, 300 units, that is there. So this is what has been provided by the government of India. Similarly, have ultra mega solar power projects in solar parks also, jahan pe it includes 40,000 megawatt capacity across 13 states, and rest of the things that are considered here. Now, rest we have offshore wind energy boost, in which we are focusing on, the adoption of wind energy, that is again your renewable energy, strengthening your renewable energy infrastructure, which includes your green energy corridor, जहाँ पे इतनी जो है यहाँ पे expansion हो चुकी है. And similarly we have national bioenergy program also. अब जहाँ पे हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं कि whatever waste cow dung is there, just transform into an energy, and biomass as well as biogas also. Next, we have solar and hydro manufacturing expansion, which specifically includes your PLI for solar manufacturing. Okay. Next, we have your National Green Hydrogen Mission, where you can see here that the data says that we have 5 MMT per annum green hydrogen, and we are targeting it by 2030. Now we have a lot of support to the farmers as well as to the government-owned solar projects also. So one is your KUSUM, another one is your CPSU scheme that we are watching the phase 2 of it. Now, what are the lessons from the global energy transmission? So you have to avoid your premature shutdown of the thermal power. This is what has been specifically mentioned in your survey. Similarly, developed economies show that phasing out thermal energy too quickly can lead to energy instability. Now, India must balance growing energy demand with the low carbon path. This is what we have learned, from the your global energy transitions. Now we have a focus on the growth sustainability, or you can say your sustainable growth. So it includes a battery storage, grid infrastructure as well as critical minerals also, which will ensure that we are focusing or we are just achieving our long-term goals. चाहे आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनने की बात हो या फिर developed nation, that is your आत्मनिर्भर भारत 2047 and net zero emission 2070 also. Now we have ESG reporting for the listed companies, so you can see the data here. Next, we have green debt securities. Okay, so green debt securities, as in it's a sort of what? It's a sort of debt that government needs, but government is saying that start focusing or start giving loan towards the sustainable practices here. So one is your transition bonds, blue bonds, yellow bonds, as well as your circular economy bonds are also there. Now talking about this, your sovereign green bonds for green infrastructure. So you can see here कि जो हमारा financial year 2025 का जो plan है, we have focusing on this thing that another 10,000 crore, we are expecting here in the financial year 2025. Now, green deposit framework is also there, which encourage banks to accept green deposits, and similarly we have PSL for the renewable energy. So यहाँ पे it plays a huge important role. Next, we have optimizing lifestyle for the sustainable development. That is the case of it. So you can see that one of the initiative is what? Life mission. Okay, your lifestyle for the how your lifestyle is, and with the changing environment, how you're adopting it, whatever is your lifestyle, whatever activities you're doing in your day-to-day activities, just ensure that you are taking care of the environment also. That is what has been discussed here. Now it introduced at the by our Prime Minister, respected Prime Minister, in the meeting of COP26 that happened in Glasgow, and it encourages your eco-friendly lifestyle, that's focusing on the moderating of consumption as well as production, your habits also. Now why it matters? Because food safety, or I would say food wastage, is just equivalent to 8% of the global greenhouse gas emission, and if food waste for a country, it would be the third largest emitter. This is what has been discussed here. Now household consumption kitni hai? It is 66% of the global your greenhouse gas emission. Now it will ensure that कि जो diet है उसमें shift आएगा, sustainable traveling में we'll ensure that energy transmission में we'll ensure, and consumer consumer choice भी क्या होगी, eco-friendly होगी. Now we are driving a change through the policies as well as the financial incentives that is there. So you can see that tax breaks and incentives include that subsidies are provided for the adoption of EVs, right? And we have a high excise duty on the fossil fuels to encourage your green alternative. Now, what are the government schemes here? One is your Surya Ghar, another one is the adoption of EVs. Next, you have Kusum. So these are the initiatives that you can mention if tomorrow question asks on sustainable practices. Now we have, eco-labeling and your market-based incentives also. So this includes Eco-Mark, star labeling scheme, as well as your perform, achieve and trade schemes also, which are specifically related to incentives for the energy transmission efficiency. Now we have urban mobility and waste management also, which ensures that expansion of metro networks is there for the reduced private vehicle use. Strict waste management is there, regulation to cut the environmental impact also. Now we have transformative behavior, transforming the behavior through the welfare as well as your awareness and community action. So financial incentives are provided for the green technology, public awareness we are continuously doing, community engagement we are continuously focusing on, policy participation, and the key takeaways are low energy lifestyle is achieved through government policies, financial incentives as well as your collective actions also. Now here we have India's green credit program and environmental initiatives, in which it is said that we are stepping here to incentivize our environmental conservation and to promote the sustainable practices through the innovative programs. Now we have green credit program, which is introduced under green credit rules 2023. Now it specifically encourages your voluntary environmental conservation by issuing your green credit. So you have rest of the things that are here. Now if I talk about the current progress, so you can see that 17 state forest departments have been actively participating here. Iska impact kya hai? It encourages your corporate and individual participation, and it is aligned with the life mission goal. So you can see the impact. Now ek paid maa ke naam, so this is another initiative that was launched on the World Environment Day, that was in June 2024. Now it aims to connect the environmental conservation with the emotional values, since we are using the word our mother, so it somewhere or another creates an emotional sense here. Now milestone achievements, you can see by yourself. Impact kya hai? It strengthens the community driven environmental action, and it increases the green cover also. Now we have Swachh Bharat mission that was launched in the year of 2014, and we have seen the expansion also, Swachh Bharat your 2.0 also. So we are talking about cleaning our environment. So I hope that everyone knows the impact here. Now we have key takeaways. So green credit program is here. Ek paid maa ke naam is another initiative, and Swachh Bharat mission 2.0 is another initiative in which we are focusing on this thing that tomorrow we can see the development. Now here we have circular economy and resource efficiency in India. So India is directly transitioning towards circular economy. We have a lot of brands who believes in the circular economy. They're just reusing the product that they have, and they're specifically focusing on recycling, and then they are making the new products. Now what are the key objectives? To reduce the wastage, we are focusing on 3 R's here, and it has a potential economic impact also, which you can see. Now we have government initiative which is multi-pronged approach, which is using multi-pronged approach. So you can see that regulatory measures are there, financial incentives which includes your tax benefits, subsidies and low interest loans also, and awareness campaigns is also active just to make them aware. Now we have extended producer responsibility. So it's a policy that makes manufacturers responsible for the managing their product waste post consumption. Okay, so whatever is the post results, you have to just manage the waste that you are producing. Now it encourages your eco-friendly products, and impact kya hai iska? So it boosts recycling in the sectors like your electronics, plastic as well as your packaging also. Now agar iske upar dhyan denge, so of course we are focusing on the sustainable development. Now we have tackling the plastic pollution. So what are the steps? So by 2050, plastic pollution could contribute 15% of the global greenhouse gas emission. This is what is the case here. And what is the reality? That India is one of the lowest per capita plastic consumers, that is globally, and per capita plastic consumption kya hai? That is 14 kgs versus 100 plus kgs in the developed nation. and global average plastic use kitna hai? It is 35 kg per capita. So this is the drastic numbers that we have. Now we are here with the Plastic Waste Management Rule 2016, which ensures that plastic global local bodies and gram panchayats are responsible for the plastic management. We have to put ban in the identified plastic use, single use of plastic, and open incineration restrictions are also there just to curb the pollution. Now we're talking about the air pollution that is there. So air pollution, everyone knows that is specifically talking about the conditions of north, specifically Delhi. So the conditions are just worst. So we'll see that what are the steps here. So according to WHO data, according to 2024, so 99% of the global pollution breathlessness air is with the high pollutant level. Low and middle income countries suffer the most. Key causes kya hai India mein? So your vehicular traffic, which is your congestion, that is there. Industrial and costs, your construction dust is there. Your stubble burning is another, or you can say, case here. Coal and biomass burning is there, and geography as well as weather is also there. Now we have National Clean Air Program in the year of 2019. So it reduces the air pollution in 130 plus cities. Okay, and you have implement city plan actions also. Now we have key measures here. So resource integration is there, vehicular your emission control is also there, and we are also focusing on the industries and power plants also. Now we are focusing on GRAP, which is your Graded Response Action Plan. Now it says that it's a tiered, or you can say it's a tiered action plan based on AQI, which is your air quality index, and higher pollution means restrictions, or you can say it emerging actions has been restricted here. Now under it, so you have severe pollution. If the pollution is severe, goes in a severe manner, so we have to put ban on the diesel generators, sprinklers and mechanized sweeping to suppress the dust, and we have to increase our your public transport frequency also. Now emerge your emergency pollution jo hai, if the AQI is just 450 plus, so complete halt is on the non-essential construction as well as your industrial activities is there. Ban on BS3 petrol, and closure of schools as well as work from home mandates are there. Now similarly we have scheme which is your in situ crop residue management, which ensures कि यहाँ पे जो promotion है हम किसका करते हैं, biocomposers, your decomposers, to convert the stubble into the compost instead of just burning them. Now what are the alternatives here? So your PUSA, biodecomposer, which is there, and your baling and the power plants is also there. Now what is the way forward? So we have to focus on the expansion of EV infrastructure, cleaner fuels as well as renewable energy की तरफ हमें focus करना पड़ेगा, strengthening of the public transport and better planning of the urban as well as your greenhouse spaces as well. Now if you see the India's climate and sustainable roadmap, so we have to go with the balanced approach. So as India strives for net zero emission by 2070, we are focusing on the various, we are facing various of the challenges. One is your sustaining high in economic growth, and another one is your ensuring environmental sustainability. That is another challenge. Now if we want to achieve this balance, so we have to mitigate cutting the greenhouse gas emissions, and we have to adapt focus on the adaptations that will strengthen your resilience against your climatic impact. Now what are the key challenges rest here with the your renewable energy transition? So you can see that energy, we are specifically focusing on the expansion of solar energy, wind energy, and we have hydro energy as well. So efficiency your efficiency programs like your PAT scheme and star labeling is just contributing here. Now what are the challenges? So energy storage limitation, critical mineral storage as well as your green hydrogen gas cost is also a problem here. Now solutions क्या है कि R&D पे invest करना शुरू करो, जो हमारे we have domestic supply chains, start focusing on developing them, scale up your nuclear power. This is what has been said here. Now we have also to manage our fossil fuel responsibilities, and we have middle path, which includes your advanced ultra super your critical thermal plants and carbon capture and storage also, which will reduce your fossil fuel emission. Now what are the issues that is there with the climatic resilient agriculture? So you can see that we have issues like climate changes are there, soil degradation is there. What are the solution? कि climate जो resilient seeds हैं, start adapting that, water conservation की तरफ ध्यान दो, and biofertilizers की तरफ भी ध्यान दो. Now what is the life mission which is there? So we are focusing that it will encourage your sustainable development. It will encourage your sustainable development. Okay, so you can see the case here. Now we have a focus on the net road to the net zero. So short term अगर मैं बात करूँ, so we are focusing on the expansion of the EV. Similarly, you have to strengthen your plastic waste management also. Medium term की बात करूँ, so you have to scale up your hydrogen, your green hydrogen, and we have to push for the low emission of industrial progress. Long term की अगर मैं बात करूँ, so you have to achieve 100% of the renewable energy based economy. Net zero जो carbon industries and transport है, उसमें भी हमें transition जो है वो देखनी पड़ेगी. Now here is a question for all of you. So A aims to install rooftop solar panels, your plants in 1 crore households, which is expected to enable approximately B of the residential rooftop, your solar capacity, and contribute to an overall rooftop solar capacity addition of 40 to 50 gigawatts by C. So far, rooftop solar in system for more than D households as on 9th of January 2025 has been already installed. So you can just see the question here. I'm just coming. Alright, now you people have to give me answers that what does it refer to. Is it PM Janman? Is it Green Energy Corridor, Viability Gap Funding Scheme, या फिर PM Surya Ghar, Muft Bijli Yojana, फिर Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. So you can see that here we are focusing on the installation of the your rooftop solar plants. So the correct answer we have is PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Okay. Next question we have is, what does B refers to? Is it 30 gigawatt? Is it 50 gigawatts? Is it 700 gigawatt, या फिर it is your 70 gigawatt या फिर 80 gigawatt. So the correct answer that is specifically mentioned in your survey is your 30 gigawatt. Okay, so the correct answer we have is your 30 gigawatt. Next question we have is that what does C refers to? So we have to achieve the objective by 2027. Next you have that what does D refers to? Is it 10 lakh? Is it 15 lakh? Is it 7 lakh, 5 lakh, या फिर is it 2 lakhs? So you can just take your time, but the correct answer we have is 7 lakhs. Okay, so you can see that 7 lakh is the correct answer. So we've seen the situation here. So various schemes that has been mentioned. So you have to go through that, so that tomorrow if a question is asked directly from the paragraph, you people will be able to answer it. So that is it in chapter 10 of the economic survey. We are left with 3 chapters only, and then our economic survey will be done. I hope each and every terminology is just crystal clear to all of you. If you have still any of the question, you can just write in the comment section and I'll address it. Thank you so much. I'll meet you in the next one. Thank you.